So what has Kosovo done in terms of fulfilled its, what are success stories, or has it done something well in terms of fulfilling its obligations?
Kosovo is adopting so-called third energy package. The set of draft laws, energy law, law on electricity market, and law on energy regulator, are now being prepared for the second reading in the parliament, and hopefully this will be approved very soon. And this is, of course, a big step to make energy sector in Kosovo, at least on a paper, following completely compliant with European rules. Of course, then next phase is implementation, a lot of secondary legislation, but it will be a big step. This is done.
What isn't done? Can we go now to what is Kosovo's homework to do and is not being done?
Many things have not been done in the case of energy efficiency. Kosovo has to establish energy efficiency fund. We are listening stories how this is not possible for years now already, and we are somehow not happy to listen to these stories anymore. Of course, it is possible if there is political will. Without establishing of energy efficiency fund, there will be no implementation of energy efficiency directive. And National Energy Efficiency Action Plan, which was approved by Kosovan government. Then Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, which envisages energy characteristics of new buildings and also existing buildings, has not been transposed, despite draft law has been provided as a technical assistance to Kosovan government, or I mean to the ministry, but now minister of course has to bring it on the meeting of the cabinet of ministers and to parliament and approve it. This is a long delayed obligation of Kosovo. There are some other issues which have to be done and have not been done, especially in energy regulator. Energy regulator doesn't allow currently any competition in electricity supply. Switching rules are not adopted. Balancing settlement rules and prices, of course, are not properly developed. Even if there would be potential competition, and there is one company from Croatia which would like to sell electricity to some Kosovo consumers, for example to ferronickel, they cannot do it because they simply cannot enter the market. Prices of generation are regulated still. What is the unique case in the whole region? And of course also prices for final consumers are regulated. What is not unique case in the region, but following the EU legal framework and following the so-called soft measures under the Berlin process, this of course shall be tackled, and regulation shall be, price regulation shall be liberalized. So many things to do. And there is, of course, also a pending issue of unsolved question with Serbian transmission system operator, which really prevents one action, which is called proper interrelation with neighboring transmission system operators. But this is only one out of very many tasks that have to be done. Sometimes we are listening excuses that this dispute with Serbia is a reason for everything, but it's far from being true.
So the Kosovo public too listens to those excuses. Can you say in few bullet points what are things that Kosovo could do right away without being obstacled by Serbia? On energy security, for example.
Energy security? Or?
Because in general, and also having in mind, Kosovo says because of lack of energy security, because of the way Serbia is blocking us. This is our priority. Is it true that Kosovo is really obstacled in securing energy security because of Serbia?
Partly this is true, but partly. Many things could be done. As I said, there are connections with Macedonia, there are connections with Montenegro, which allow competition, but this competition is not allowed through the Kosovan legal framework, existing one. Prices should be liberalized. Competition should be allowed. All this is possible to do back at home. I mean, without any cooperation with any neighboring transmission system operator.
What are Kosovo's obligations regarding Kosovo A, and what does Kosovo need to do to fulfill your criteria regarding Kosovo A?
All contracting parties of the energy community, including Kosovo, are obliged to respect Large Combustion Plants Directive, which envisages serious lowering or limiting of emissions from 1st of January 2018 on. And all old thermopower plants shall be or closed down on that day, or countries were offered a special transitional period till 2023, but they should apply for it. The deadline for this application was end of December last year. Kosovo didn't apply for any exemption, so it means that National Emissions Reduction Plan, which was approved by Kosovan government, envisages shutting down Kosovo A on the end of next year.
Did other countries apply?
Other countries applied and asked for some exemptions, not for all thermopower plants. For some of them, they simply decided to shut them down, but for some they did.
Which countries applied for extension?
Serbia, Macedonia, Bosnia, and so on.
Since Kosovo has not applied for extension of closing of the Kosovo A, but at the same time in the public, to Kosovo public, as well as in this conference, you heard they said they will close to 2023, not in 2017. What does this mean? What are the repercussions of having not asked for this extension?
Oh, I believe that Kosovan government is serious and will respect its obligation, which it adopted by itself. So I don't believe there will be a prolongation. But if this happens, then of course we as a Secretariat will start an infringement procedure against Kosovo, which lasts some time, and then it is finalized through, if the reason will still exist, through a decision of Ministerial Council of the Energy Community, which establishes a serious and persistent breach of the treaty. And in such cases, then also some sanctions are adopted. Such sanctions were adopted up in our history only once. It was against Bosnia and Herzegovina last year. And the sanctions, I mean, there are three types of sanctions. One is cancelling of financial assistance for functioning inside energy community, some reimbursements, but this is not a big number. The other one is cancellation of voting rights, and the third one, which is most serious, is cancellation of some EU funds.
For example, in Bosnia, you stopped funding on a particular transmission line?
Yes.
Can you say more about that so that it becomes clear to audiences what do sanctions mean?
Okay, this was a result of a decision of European Union by itself, not of our Ministerial Council. European Union, on the basis of the decision on serious and persistent breach, decided not to grant money for high voltage cable between Visegrad and Serbia, where, of course, Bosnia and Herzegovina could receive some millions of euros.
No, it's. Do you think that with this trend of developments, Kosovo can reach its targets on renewables and energy efficiency, the 9% for energy efficiency by 2018? Because we know that now, latest, it's not only soft measures, but it's concrete investments, and even the World Bank is having problems on implementing their projects now. And on renewables, because we see that we're still on a very low percentage of renewable energy production. The new strategy of Kosovo is looking to decrease the 25% for renewables target to a lower one, because they see it's unrealistic, and apparently even the Energy Community Treaty thinks, or from the reports we've read, that Kosovo can't keep up with its targets. Can you say more about that?
As you said, analysis which we prepared for last year's Ministerial Council somehow established that Kosovo and two other contracting parties, also Serbia, for example, have serious problems in reaching the target. And of course, some additional measures should be developed in Kosovo to improve the status. We are not aware of some additional measures, but we still hope on all the best. But related to energy efficiency, which you mentioned, I have to say that Kosovo didn't transpose Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, which brings enormous potential for improving the energy efficiency, because it is related to building sector, which consumes more than 40% of all energy. This has to be done, including establishment of energy efficiency fund, which can enter into financial schemes for support of population to execute some energy efficiency measures. We can not only wait on energy efficiency measures in some public buildings, and we have to stimulate, or Kosovo has to stimulate population, citizens, to invest into energy efficiency measures, and this has to be somehow supported. And talking about renewables and energy efficiency at once, I would like to mention one project about which I'm really, how to say, upset. It is district heating in Gnilane. This is a project which is heavily funded by European Union. Majority of funds, needed funds, are provided. The only obstacle already now for a year is a transfer of state-owned land in industrial zone of Gnilane from state to local community. And this is the only obstacle. Money is there, project is there, it's a good project. It would bring new producer of electricity from renewable energy sources. It would help agriculture farmers in vicinity. It would help furniture industry. It's win-win project. There is only one obstacle. I don't know what could be real reason behind it, but if this project will not be realized, I think this will really be a scandal for Kosovo, because wasting such a potential is a sin.
Thank you for mentioning a very concrete local project. I'm impressed that you know about something that's happening in Gjilan. Now, your compatriot Zbogar mentioned another EU-funded project in the conference, the project where our municipality asked city municipality Pristina, the dirtiest, what we know is the dirtiest town in entire Europe, asked for new buses, a grant for new buses from EBRD. Because of our institutions, this grant is being stopped. What would you say to this?
I don't know the project, and I can't comment it. But that one in Gnilane, I know, and I was personally involved, and I helped that the decision was approved for this grant, and I think it would be a case of best practice in the region, and everybody would be proud on it. It just needs to be just this small administrative barrier inside government has to be overcome.
For us, the civil society, the Energy Efficiency Fund is very important, and we did studies about it, and you've mentioned it twice here and a couple of times inside, and we know it's very important. So will there be any sanctions if in the new draft of the energy efficiency law, Energy Efficiency Fund doesn't pass?
Theoretically, Energy Efficiency Fund is not obligatory under the acquis, but I think that measures which are obligatory are not executable without it. Simply doesn't work.
So it's a mean that helps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Final question. Today, this is the first regional conference organized by Balkan Green Foundation, and where you came, and you are, let's say, the most important keynote speaker here in terms of panelists and what you brought with your input in the conference. Do you think it's paradoxical that a Balkan Green Foundation is based in Pristina, the dirtiest Balkan city?
No, it's, I mean, the crisis, never waste a good crisis. Crisis or problem is also an opportunity, and I believe something very good could grow out of this initiative.
What is the atmosphere? Can you describe a little bit of what did you expect before coming here? How many times have you been to Kosovo before?
Oh, I'm regularly coming to Kosovo because it's our contracting party and I have to deal with it. But this year I'm second time only.
Second time. And you're regularly with our ministers. How did they react to your... what did you find to be the reaction when you provocatively put it out in the panel that you said Kosovo hasn't asked for extension? What was the reaction of our minister?
I don't know. I mean, you saw him. I was sitting in the position that I couldn't really observe him.
But did he comment on that? Did he say we'll send it?
No, but...
What did Kosovo decide to send that request for extension now?
Oh, now it's too late. Deadline was 31st of December last year. It's written in the directive. I can't change it. Yeah.
Thanks very much.